Hello, welcome in or welcome back to my channel. My name is Deb from DG Reads and it's time for my August TBR. July has been a very busy month and not entirely a successful reading month as of the time I'm filming this, which is early because I do have a busy kind of return from vacation a couple of weeks at the end of the month. I have 3 books that I have not yet read. And honestly, I don't know that I'm going to get to a couple of them. One of them I think I'm purposefully going to hold for next month for reasons, which we will discuss. And the other one I might be able to get to, but there's no audiobook for it. So it's really about whether I wind up with time to sit and read, which at the moment is questionable. So I'm going to go ahead and start off this month playing my Promptball game with 6 coins instead of 5 and just assume that I'm not going to achieve my goals for the month. And August is a month where I am taking a break, at least as of right now, from readathons. I say that even though at the time I filmed July, I said I wasn't doing any in July, and then I wound up signing up for a readathon. So things may change, but as of right now, really my only priorities this month are going to be Promptball, getting caught up on some buddy reads and reading challenges and those types of things. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our prompts and then we'll talk about what else I'm reading this month. For prompt number 1, it is a purple ball, and the prompt is to read an aardvark book. For an aardvark book, I only had a few to choose from, but thankfully I did add 3 books to my last box. So I'm going to go with Starving Saints by Caitlin Sterling. This is an author I've truly loved before and also had a few that I didn't. So I'm going into this with high hopes, but a little bit of cautious hopes and hoping that it will be a good one. Aardvark actually did a special edition and it's really pretty, so I am hoping to enjoy it. It says it is a transfixing fever dream of medieval horror. It says there's a castle that's been under siege for 6 months. They're running low on everything they need to survive. They're thinking of thinning the people who are there, and then suddenly divine figures show up and save everyone and bring everyone there under their sway. But of course this is horror, so things aren't going to be all happy ever after, I'm assuming. Number 2, purple, so we're off to a great start, but at least it's an easy prompt. It is to read a book published in 2024. For a book published in 2024, I am going to pick up The 13th Child by Erin E. Craig. I have this Barnes & Noble edition, and this is one that I need to wrap up my horror bingo. And it is a fantasy with a bit of horror. I remember putting this on the TBR because it has an embodiment of death. Our main character, I think, is the goddaughter of death, and that's really all I remember about it, but this is an author I've enjoyed before, so I have high hopes for this one as well. Number 3. Yellow, and I need to pick a book from a randomized shelf. I randomized my shelf and I got shelf number 19, which I will show you a picture of. Doesn't have too many books on it, but one that is there that I've been procrastinating a little bit and decided this is the time I probably should go ahead and pick it up is Stephen King's You Like It Darker. This is his latest story collection and I have heard some good things about it. I know my dad read it, enjoyed it, so I am hopeful to enjoy this one as well. Prompt number 4, blue. Read a horror genre book. That's easy enough. For the horror genre, I am going to be reading The Unseen by Anya Alborn. This is an author I've read from before, really enjoyed. This is a theme so far with these books. I don't know a whole lot about this one, but we have a woman who's dealing with the grief of loss over one of her children, and then an orphan shows up on their property, but her husband and her other children start to notice there's something a little bit bizarre going on, and that's all I know. It's horror. I'm looking forward to reading it. And number 5. Green. Okay. This one was mean. I forgot I did this one to myself. It is to repeat the last prompt, so I need to read 2 horror genre books, but also add an extra ball. And then I got a complicated one in that I have to repeat the previous prompt. That part's easy, but I had to actually add an extra ball and an extra prompt, which was not what I was hoping to do, but that's okay. The book that I'm reading for my second horror is How Bad Things Can Get by Darcy Coates. This is an August release from a favorite horror author, so I have high hopes for this. I had hoped to get to this one on vacation because the setting seemed very idyllic for that, but I overestimated my ability to get reading in while on my Zanzibar vacation. But this one is set on beaches and lush greenery, and it says it's Firefest meets the Blair Witch Project. Again, not wanting too many details going into a horror read, but this one has me highly intrigued. And then what should have been our last of the original ones, number 6. Yellow, it's another duplicate. And it is to read a book from Macmillan Audio. For a Macmillan Audio title, I decided to go with one that is specifically created as an audiobook, not one that was created in print first, and that is Break Me Down by Anna Downs. This is a multicast narration according to the book, although the listing says it's narrated by the author. I'm guessing they just haven't added all of the names yet, as this is an audio arc that I received. The blurb for it says, the author brings listeners into the studio, an elite Los Angeles acting school whose cult-like leader, Mariana, promises to make students into unstoppable talents at any cost. It's meant to have a lot of special effects, applause, screams, and the like, so I am very interested to find out what it's like. And then the extra ball that I did to myself when I created the prompt is another yellow, one more duplicate, because why not? And we have a Kylie pick, which could be interesting because she is exhausted from her vacation at the vet boarding. So we'll see how that goes. I managed to wake up Kylie to give her some options for the Kylie pick prompt. And the options I gave her were The Dark Mirror by Samantha Shannon. This is the latest in the Bone Season series. The Sirens by Amelia Hart. This is a book that came out in March. I received an ARC after it was already out, but I really still want to get to it. We've got a woman who wakes up choking her husband or partner in the middle of the night. We've got a historical timeline with people drawn to the sea. I really don't know much about it, but I have heard good things. The Wrong Sister by Claire Douglas. This is an upcoming August release from HarperCollins. This is following sisters. They have very different lives, but they stand up for each other. One is babysitting for the other, and then one of them is attacked, and then the message comes in that the wrong sister was the subject of the attack. Again, don't know too much going into it, but intrigued for this one. And lastly, one I really need to get to, The Angel of Indian Lake by Stephen Graham Jones. This finishes out the trilogy, and I keep saying I need to get to this one, so it would be good to pick this one up. Okay. And Kylie decided to go with an arc that I do need to read this month, so I will be reading The Wrong Sister by Claire Douglas. So in terms of duplicates, I need to add 3 additional prompts. Bonus prompt number 1 was a red, even though it doesn't matter at this point. Yeah, this is how August is going apparently. It's a mood read, which is good, but also an extra ball. And then I got a mood read, which is great, and I'm going to go ahead and just use it as a mood read. I'm sure there will be something calling my name during the month that I want to pick up for that, but it did add yet another extra prompt. Bonus prompt number 2. A Book of the Month book. For Book of the Month, I've decided to pick up The Man Made of Smoke by Alex North. This is one that I have been really anticipating. It's an author that I have really enjoyed in the past. Not everything has been a 5-star read, but like with many of these books, it's an author that has definite potential for me, so I look forward to reading it. We're following a character who had a near miss as a child with a serial killer, and that's kind of haunted him and shaped him in a lot of ways over the years. He's become a profiler, investigator, and then his father dies under mysterious circumstances, so he returns home to see if he can find some answers and possibly a connection to what he saw as a child. Bonus prompt number 3. And I just need to read a non-fiction. For a nonfiction read, I have The Fire This Time. This is a collection of essays by various authors, edited and collected by Jasmine Ward, and it is A New Generation Speaks About Race, so I think this will be a really powerful read. And what is hopefully our last extra bonus, and it's to read one of my special edition books. And last but not least, for a special edition, I've decided to pick up The Lightning Bottles by Marissa Stapley. This is one that I received in a special edition form from Once Upon a Book Club box. And with this one, since it is part of their subscription, as you're going through, you will find some extra little things, including places where you get to open a gift that came in the package. So I am looking forward to that. I've fallen a little bit behind reading my Once Upon a Book Club box books, so it's a good time to go ahead and pick one up. So for August, I have these, plus a mood read, plus an audiobook, plus an ebook. So the stack is definitely mighty, but of course there is more. I think I may have mentioned it last month, but my buddy read group for classics on Bookstagram is reading Dr. Zhivago by Boris Pasternak for July and August. I have not started yet because of my vacation. Didn't really feel like Russian classic literature was poolside reading, but I am looking forward to going ahead and getting started and catching up with the discussion that we have going on over on Bookstagram. In other buddy read news, I will definitely be reading Vampire Academy and Frostbite by Rochelle Mead. These are the first two books in the Vampire Academy series, and we are doing a read-along. It's hosted by Sandra at Got a Thing for Things, and we will be doing the full Vampire Academy series and the Bloodline series that follows it with live shows. The live show for the first two books will be in late August, and the date hasn't been 100% finalized yet, but look on social media and Sandra's channel and all of those things for updates on that. I do have a couple more arcs that I'm planning to read in August, and a couple of them are The Deathless One by Emma Hamm. This one just says it is slow burn, forced proximity, badass princess wielding black magic, demon shadow daddy with a tortured past, deal with the devil, fantasy romance. That's really all I know, and that it releases on August 5th. I also have The Break-In by Catherine Faulkner. This is an author I've been wanting to try, and this promises to be a twisty thriller type of ride. This one comes out at the end of August. I believe it's August 26th. I mentioned at the beginning that one of the books I was meant to read in July, I decided I would hold off and read it in August for reasons, and that is With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. This is a book that I have coming from Once Upon a Book Club, and it hasn't yet arrived, or if it has, it's being held for my vacation hold still. But the reason I really do want to read it in August now is because for Buzzwordathon from Kayla at Books and Lala, we have With in the title and transportation on the cover, and With obviously is in the title of this one, and there's a train, which is transportation, on the cover. So this will knock out both of those prompts, which makes my life very easy. Each month I like to try to get a nonfiction and a short story collection onto my TBR, and I succeeded with that with my Promptball this month because I have The Fire This Time, edited by Jasmine Ward, for a nonfiction, and You Like It Darker by Stephen King for a short story collection. And with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. I do have some other reading challenge plans and possibly a weekend challenge type of plan. I'm not exactly sure what my August content and my August reading is entirely going to wind up being, but I have a lot of books here that I'm super excited for, so I think this went really well, even if I did wind up pulling a lot more prompt balls than I expected. Let me know in the comments below, have you read any of these books? Are there any that you would have recommended for any of these prompts? Or what is something that you're looking forward to reading in August? And if you've made it this far and you don't have anything to comment, leave me a fire-related emoji for The Fire This Time. If you could hit that like button below, I would surely appreciate it, and subscribe if you're interested in more of my Promptball TBRs, my thoughts on some of these books, and my bookish content in general. But for now, I'll leave you here and see you real soon in a new video.